What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about reasons that you will fail at polyphasic sleep. But first, a couple statistics. The first is that about 80 to 90% of people that do polyphasic sleep fail. So, if you're trying this out for the first time, 1 in 5 to 1 in 10 people are actually going to succeed. Everybody else is going to fail. The other statistic is that if you are 30 years old today and you're going to live to be 60, and you start polyphasic sleep and for the rest of your life you sleep 4 hours less per day, you will gain 6 years in your life of wake time. So the moral of the story is, if you stay with me for 6 minutes in this video, it could earn you 6 years across the rest of your life. So stick around and let's see what we can do. So I'm going to give you 6 reasons today, lots of sixes here, 6 reasons that you'll fail at polyphasic sleep. Number 1 is that you think that this can be done in a week. So there's some misinformation out there that it takes a week to adapt to polyphasic sleep. That is wrong. So I've been kind of embedded in the polyphasic sleep community for about 3 months now, and I've never heard of anyone being able to do that other than a few sources out there that are pretty old that claim that you can. Now, after a week, you start to feel like you're adapted. You have kind of this euphoric state that lasts a few days. I thought I was adapted after like 4 days, which is just ridiculous looking back. It actually took me about 6 weeks, a little over 6 weeks to adapt completely. So that's like 42 days. I think officially it was like 45 days before I was adapted. So be mindful of that. Number 2 is that you think that a 30-minute nap is better than a 20-minute nap. So I see this pretty commonly. People say, well, they recommend a 20-minute nap, but it's my lunch break. I could easily take a 30-minute nap and I'll feel even better. And the truth of the matter is that 20-minute nap is 20 minutes for a reason. So your REM cycle takes about 15 minutes, and your goal is to train your body to go into REM sleep as quickly as possible. What happens if you go 30 minutes is either your body gets confused or it takes longer to go into that REM cycle. So all you're doing is introducing more light sleep before your REM cycle. That's not helping you to feel rested, but it does create a requirement for you to nap longer. Now, the other side of it is if you've trained your body at the 20 minutes and you take a 30-minute nap, you create a risk of going into slow wave sleep because you get your REM cycle right away, and then your body's got this extra time and it's saying, hey, what can I do here? Go into slow wave sleep. It's extremely hard to wake up from that, and you end up oversleeping, which is very damaging to your schedule. So that's number 2. Stick to those 20-minute naps, and you're going to be much more likely to succeed. Number 3 is you think you can have a different schedule on the weekend. So I've seen this several times. People say, well, I'm going to do this schedule so-and-so, but then on Thursdays, I have this other schedule. Or on the weekends, I'm going to sleep more because I'm hanging out with my friends, or I'm going to move my schedule around. If you've been doing polyphasic sleep for a year or 2, or maybe even 6 months, you might be able to pull off doing a different schedule, a slightly different schedule sometimes. You can definitely flex your naps around and move your core forward or back a couple hours and you'll be fine. I've done that. But you are not going to adapt successfully if you're trying to have a different schedule certain days of the week. And the reason is that your body can't figure out what you're trying to do. So polyphasic sleep is going outside of your body's normal functions. Assuming that you're doing a more complex schedule, you're not doing siesta or segmented, those are pretty easy to adapt to because it's closer to what your body's natural cycle is. But if you're doing something like E3, you're not going to be able to adapt because your body's not going to be able to figure out where to repartition your REM cycles. So stick to your schedule 7 days a week. Once you've adapted, you can start to experiment with how your body reacts if you move things around a little bit. Stick with it for 6 to 7 weeks to make sure that you're fully adapted, and then you can move things around. Number 4, you think that one source of information is right about everything. So if you're watching my videos and that's all you're doing before you start polyphasic sleep, that's a mistake. You should be using multiple sources of information. You should be looking at the sources that I recommend in some of my videos, and also just going and doing your own Google searches. Try to find some other information that I haven't recommended. Get out there, get multiple sources, figure it out for yourself, and really learn about polyphasic sleep before you start. So that's number 4. Do your research, have multiple sources. Number 5 is one that you don't hear very often in the polyphasic sleep community, but it's don't do it alone. So if you think you can do it alone, you're making a mistake. Now, some people don't have a choice. You know, I've talked to kids, or not kids, but young adults that are living with their parents, and their parents don't support the idea of polyphasic sleep, or, you know, a guy that's trying to start it and his wife isn't really bought in. Sometimes you're just going to have to deal with that, but do your best to win over the people in your lives to the idea of polyphasic sleep. And the reason is you're going to need their help. You're going to need support. There are some difficult times during polyphasic sleep, and if you don't have someone supporting you, and especially if you have someone working against you, it's going to make it that much harder to succeed. So really think about that. Think about what you can do to help win people over your side. What I did was I started incorporating doing dishes and tidying up the house as part of my morning routine. So when I'm awake and no one else is awake, I might as well do some of those things. And it helps my wife to kind of see, oh, this isn't all bad that he's waking up early. You know, when I'm sleepy and I can't stay awake through watching a movie or a television show with my wife, she's less annoyed because she sees this positive impact that she's getting some help with the house chores. So think about those things. Think about what you can do to help win people over in your life. And last but not least, you don't have a reason other than pride for doing polyphasic sleep. So this might sound weird, but some people just hear about this and they watch one of the more popular videos and they're like, hey, that sounds tough, and it's kind of like a rite of passage or whatever to try this and prove that I can do it. And I'm sure some of those people have succeeded, but the success rate is likely much lower than those people that have a driving force that makes them want to do polyphasic sleep. Something that drives them to work harder and focus on success because they want to gain those 4 hours a day to achieve something else. So mine is creating these videos and doing some of my other projects, reading books, training my leadership, and reading career books to succeed in my career. So that's what I'm doing, and it drives me to wake up in the morning. If you don't have something like that, it's going to be really hard to get out of bed. So think about those 6 things. I think they'll really help you succeed in polyphasic sleep. If there's something that I didn't mention that you think is a major point of failure for new polyphasic sleepers, put it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you can get more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.